Murphy's back from traveling, the whole gang together again.
Whee. Yeah, and Jodi, I was sitting next to somebody on one of the flights I was on who you actually probably would have loved to have talked to.
Okay.
She works for a commercial real estate firm. That's not why necessarily it'd be of interest to you.
Okay.
But her name was Laura, and this is one of those, when you sit on a plane, it depends on what mindset you're in. The people sitting next to you, every now and then a conversation will develop, or it doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. And she was one of those where it naturally occurred. It was great. I was coming out of a couple of days of meetings, and so but she was traveling back home, and because she lives in Atlanta. In the firm that she works for does project commercial real estate.
Oh.
She had the unique opportunity to go behind the scenes at Delta Airlines into the maintenance shed and into the housekeeping areas. Oh, cool. But she said the reason that she enjoyed going into it shouldn't be called a shed. It's a mile-long building where they service, where they service all of the planes.
Ooh.
And so she got to go on this tour where they explained what happens when a jet's pulled out of service regularly, for its maintenance. And she's blown away by the length of the checklist and the amount of detail that's gone into on each plane. She said, you wouldn't believe, she said, I was never afraid of flying, but once I saw that, I knew that I was safe to fly.
Really?
Your own car doesn't get inspected this way. It's literally hundreds of different checkpoints that they're covering.
Good.
From engines to instrumentation to functionality of seats. It's everything to make sure that a plane is still functional as it should be. And I thought that was
where's
interesting.
the documentary on this? It probably actually
That
exists.
is a great idea. Somebody should totally do that. I don't know how to get that tour. I'm sure it's not a regular public tour.
Yeah. You didn't get her business card?
I do have her business card, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah.
About to say, that's the Murphy I know.
Maybe she could get us, the hookup on that. But anyway, I just thought that was... It
and
just
you
goes
thought
to show,
I would want to know that because...
Well, because because you always ask questions about things in flight. Well,
of course.
So
yeah, but Jodi's questions are like, "What was that bump?"
Right, and if we're making up time in the air, that's the kind of stuff that makes Jodi nervous. The speeding up and all that. You're not afraid to fly.
Do you want to ride? I'm not afraid to fly, but I do feel helpless and small. And so, a little bit of it's a low-level anxiety.
Doesn't that make you feel better, though, knowing that the checklist is like hundreds long?
Yeah, they almost ought to offer that tour to anybody that has flight anxiety.
Or do the documentary.
It's safe.